Joshua Schaus, week 2 of Intro to Public Speaking, with an interesting anecdote from my work for this week's video. As I covered last week, I do work at the local library, Kalamazoo Public Library, and I don't know if I covered my position, but I'm in facility maintenance, which basically encompasses everything from cleaning the building to making sure that all the machines inside of it work, to making sure that the building itself is standing well and operating, providing the shelter. And we've had a couple pretty bad storms this past summer. So over this last summer, and it was the first storm that has been this bad in several years, so the first that I've been at the library that we've had something this extravagant. There was water shooting up from the sewage drains for the city. We could look across the street and see water spouting up from the ground and filling the parking lot. And we were focused mainly on our second floor, which has some cracks that often provide leaks that get on computers and whatnot, which is pretty important. But I go out to the garage, and a little background about the garage. People make deliveries to that garage, and someone had dropped off a donation for our bookstore that operates inside the library that produces revenue for the library, about 3 years worth of their son's law books, something that I'm considering studying possibly after I finish my bachelor's, hopefully this next year. So I'm looking at some pretty extravagant expenses. So I go ahead and I tell them to go ahead and just leave them for us, even though we usually don't accept textbooks. And I talk to the people who operate it, and they cut out a deal with me that would be next to nothing, really, the amount of money that they wanted for these books, because they usually wouldn't have even kept them if it wasn't for my recommendation. And they're all sitting out in the garage. And I go out there, it's the end of the day, and we're getting ready to leave. And I see water just jetting down from the ceiling of the garage. No idea how that happened, but somewhere along the lines of the intensity of the rain and the wind just shooting all directions, water has managed to get into the garage, and it's spraying down pretty close to the books that I was maintaining for them and inevitably going to be taking home after they had gotten a chance to look through them all. And I'm rushing around trying to save these books, and then I'm realizing that as I'm moving everything around, my socks are just completely soaked, because now we have standing water. We end up having to open up the garage, and then more water just flushes in from the parking lot. So it was pretty intense. It was pretty insane. And by the time that we had gotten all the water out, and I had left for a drill weekend, by the way, so I got in around 7 in the morning after being there until 1 in the morning at the library trying to flush all this water out. I get back on a Monday, and the same thing happens again, all over again. Water just coming in from every possible angle, and another giant rainstorm that hit us. And we're looking at just an hour of taking a squeegee, like one that you would wipe off the windshield of your car with, and just trying to push it back out into the parking lot until the parking lot finally just fills. Water just gushing out from the drains on the side of the road. It was absolutely intense, and still today, easily the 2 worst days that I've ever had at work. So thanks.